Welcome everyone to this November 5th edition of What's Happening in Crypto, exploring all of the latest from the crypto world and beyond. Top stories of the day: Blockchain City, Nevada. Bitcoin Cash drama continues, and cryptocurrencies come to Uganda. First story of the day, Morgan Stanley has announced in a report that crypto is now an institutional asset class. This is yet another serious nod of approval from a big financial player. The report states that investors had full confidence in cryptocurrencies, from a solution for issues in the financial system to a new payment system, and ultimately to a new institutional investment class. And yet, unsurprisingly, the report did point out that major issues still remain for big money investors, primarily regulatory uncertainty, a lack of regulated custodian solutions, and a current lack of large financial institutions in the space. There is still work to be done, and those are valid criticisms, but this kind of approval from Morgan Stanley is definitely moving us in the right direction. Massive news coming out of Korea. The finance minister has approved... Hey, wait, what the duck? Is that a beer on his desk? What is going on in these Korean finance meetings? That's ridiculous. Anyway, where was I? The minister affirmed that there exists no issue in banks providing virtual bank accounts to cryptocurrency exchanges if digital asset trading platforms have KYC and AML systems in place. Of course, it's KYC and AML. There is no problem in issuing virtual bank accounts to exchanges. End quote. This is in contrast to statements from the Korean government earlier this year encouraging banks to not work with crypto exchanges due to, of course, money laundering and all those other fears that are commonly rolled out. This new announcement does clarify the position of the government and is leading many crypto commentators to be very optimistic that one of crypto's biggest markets is moving towards greater practicality when it comes to crypto regulation. Binance has signed up 40,000 crypto traders in its first week on the market in Uganda, being the exchange's first fiat on-ramp country. This is how adoption happens, guys, by bringing crypto to the people. Cryptocurrencies are so hot across the African continent at the moment, and to see Binance making a strong opening into Uganda is a great step towards introducing crypto to an otherwise underserved region. I hope that more major exchanges will see the opportunity and follow suit. A man named Jeffrey Burns has bought an enormous plot of land in Nevada, bigger than Reno, Nevada, in fact, for $170 million in cash. And he is planning on building a blockchain community on top of that land. The new city will be an experimental project fueled by blockchain, of course, intent on building the society of the future. I love the vision. The dream of creating such a utopia is certainly a monumental task and will be met with loads of criticism. But dreams become reality all the time for those who are willing to take the requisite actions to achieve them. As opposed, of course, to some other projects, Burns is actually putting his own money on the table, a cool $300 million in total. Yowzers. This dude is an exemplar of crypto investing. He bought Ethereum on the cheap back in 2015 and sold his Ethereum late last year at the highs. It is also admirable that he is creating with that money versus just consuming with that money. The close proximity of the Burns land to Tesla, Google, Apple, and others is also an interesting note in this story. Construction is planned to start in 2019 after final approval by local councils of the plans. Our society direly needs to upgrade. This, along with things like the seasteading projects, are all tantalizing glimpses of the future of society. And by the way, here is a short trailer which he aired on national TV advertising Blockchains Nevada.
Remember when you were young? You thought you could change the world. You'd build flying cars and skyscrapers out of random toys and wooden blocks. You'd use crayons to create masterpieces and sand to create whatever you could dream up. But as you got older, you let the world change you. You attached yourselves to the corporations, the rule makers, and the status quo. And everyone else got to change the world while you watched. But now it's our turn to make new systems, new security, new banks, and new interactions. We can create a world that makes everything we do work better. And this time, we're not using toys and wooden blocks. We're using the blockchain, and we're building a real city. It's our turn to change the world.
In other big idea news, the venture studio Consensus has just bought Planetary Resources, a space company hoping to mine asteroids. The acquisition will help Consensus achieve its space initiatives, as well as making it apparent that Joe Lubin is not planning to sit idly by while Elon Musk conquers space, or at least he's not going to let it happen so easily. But in all seriousness, it will be private businesses that see humankind becoming a space-faring, multi-planet, intergalactic species. The sooner it happens, the more interesting the future will be. Bitcoin Cash. Fork. Those forkers are back in the forking news again because they're going to have a hard fork. This is going to be going ahead in spite of earlier assurances that there would be no forking. Exchanges are already announcing their support for the upcoming fork, though, and the community seems to be totally torn to pieces. Craig Wright and Calvin Ayre were unable to reach consensus with Jihan Wu and company. Both sides, unsurprisingly, trading insults on Twitter as relations between them continue to decline. Currently, there are not enough stakeholders supporting the November 15th software upgrade, which will result in a hard fork. The proposed upgrades would allow the power to burn BCH, a powerful proposition for Bitmain in particular, as they currently hold 1 million BCH, thus creating scarcity, which could be strong for Bitmain's bottom line. Craig Wright has come out opposing this and has released his own white paper proposing, among other things, increasing the block size again. Come on, Craig. We all know it isn't the size of your block that matters, but the motion in the ocean. Again, I can only feel sad for the Bitcoin Cash community as their leaders' infighting continues to devastate the already hurting Bitcoin Cash community. While the fork has not happened yet, it is a near certainty that it will happen. The only question now is which Bitcoin Cash will be the real Bitcoin and who is following Satoshi's vision now. The guys over at Cocos BCX have come out with a new token standard, NHAS1808. Cool name, guys. Essentially improving the standards of non-fungible tokens, things like collectibles on the blockchain. Some of the key features of this new standard will be supporting asset transfers across multiple games, redefining the ownership of assets, as well as offering higher security thanks to separate data storage and ID verification. Non-fungible tokens are going to be a key trend in the future to keep an eye on. Horizon State has partnered up with a New Zealand political party, TOP, or the Opportunities Party, to give party members the ability to use the Horizon State blockchain-based voting app to elect the party's new leadership at the end of the year. While currently the party holds 0 seats in the New Zealand Parliament, it is a first for New Zealand political parties. Hopefully it will stimulate interest in bigger parties moving forward, and perhaps even serve as a catalyst for a national blockchain election. New Zealand has been a bit behind the times on the blockchain game. This could be our chance to catch up. And finally, free stuff. Go and check out the Blockchain Brief, a newsletter made by the community for the community. Link will be down below. The first issue is free. The second issue will be $5. Get signed up on the link. Also, if you want to be in to win a Trezor 1, we are giving away 3 as part of the promotion of the newsletter. Just scan this QR code and retweet it over on Twitter to be in to win. Thanks so much for watching today's episode. I would love to know your opinion on any of the news stories down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to stay up to date with what's happening in crypto. Join the conversation over on Twitter. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.